I've got the answer right here, ladies and gentlemen, to everything that ails you. Now step right up.
One who acts like a duck about his salves and remedies. The cruel practice of making money on people's worries feared throughout the years as quackery.
I said cure of backache, nervousness, any number of diseases.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Quackery Podcast. This is Dr. Will the Pill and my man John. This is John Boy and Pilly, as we've been come to know round these parts. All right, today we're doing an episode on detox. Now, we're not talking about drug detox. We're talking about when you talk about, I'm going to go detox my system. I'm going to go in for a cleanse. That sort of bullcrap. Sorry if we've already offended you, but, you need to grow up.
Well, Dr. Oz says.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Dr. Oz would say. So today we are drinking pink drink. Because it actually, so this can, I'll put a picture up on our social media. It's from Highwire Brewing. It looks very, very silly. They actually have to contains alcohol on it because it doesn't look like beer, but it actually is very good. Tart wheat ale brewed with lemongrass and raspberries. It's actually pretty tasty. You can tell there's a little fruit in it. And it's very easily drinkable. But so the reason I got it, it's only 4.2% alcohol, which is like a normal beer, not high like the other ones we're drinking. Most weeks. I got it because there's a detox product at the pharmacy I used to work at. It's like a cleanse, I think it's called Hollywood Cleanse or some bull crap like that. Yeah. It looks exactly like this can. Yeah. It's pink just like this. So I was like, this is perfect. Plus the fact that it has to say contains alcohol and has lemongrass and shit like that in it is perfect. So there's actually no beer recording from Steven this week. There actually is a recording if you want to listen to it where he says, I've never had pink drink. It's funny. We may put that in. But anyway, detox. I put the tagline, sometimes you just want to waste money on useless shit.
Don't tell Nicole that. We just did a detox.
Well, maybe she'll learn something. All right. So what would you say a detox is and what's it supposed to do?
Reset your body, reset your
reset.
Reset
factory default settings.
Yeah,
huh?
I like that default settings. Yeah.
I like that too. Yeah, no, that sounds like what people think detox. So okay, so here's what detoxification is supposed to mean. So traditionally, the term came around for drug detox or detoxification, where the drug user would be isolated and not able to take the drug. And so then they would be forced to get clean or not use the drug for a period of time where his or her own body would eliminate the drug from the system. So today, though, most people hear about different forms of detoxification, of ways of ridding our body of impurities and toxins that have become too much for us to overcome on our own. So, of course, naturopaths, kind of like our man... Gary Young. Yeah. He's a naturopath. They've taken that up basically in spades, and they've applied it as a new form of alternative medicine treatment. So what is actually a toxin? This is the best place to start. So
it could be like pollution or something too.
So I'm glad that you said that. So a lot of people will say that. They'll say, oh, all this stuff, and I have a picture here that has chemicals and smoking and all plastics and aerosols and so that's not toxin.
Is that a donut?
I think I'm not. It's a picture of I think it's some schmear on a bagel. I guess that's a toxin. A toxin is a poisonous substance produced within living cells or organisms. Synthetic toxicants are produced by artificial processes. So before I go into making sure you understand the difference in those, here's something from the textbook of natural medicine. Churchill Livingstone. Toxins damage the body in an insidious and cumulative way. Once the detoxification system becomes overloaded, toxic metabolites accumulate, and sensitivity to other chemicals, some of which are not normally toxic, becomes progressively greater. This accumulation of toxins can wreak havoc on normal metabolic processes. Sorry,
Is that his real accent?
No, I was trying to do Bernie Sanders. It's not that good. That was terrible, Bernie. But it was an accent.
Yeah, it was actually pretty close. Yeah.
So toxins are poisons produced within a living cell.
Yeah.
Where toxicants are synthetic. They're either human or toxic chemicals, human-made or toxic chemicals. So this is not just semantics. So toxicants like pesticides can cause a lot of issues, short and long-term health issues. Like we've seen tons of health issues from pesticides and things like that. But those are toxicants.
Yeah.
Those are not toxins.
Which no one calls them that. I feel like everyone just calls them toxins.
Right.
Yeah.
And there should be and that's another thing where the
I never
people
even
who
heard
do
of toxicants.
detox. Yeah. The thing where people do detox for toxins, that's they're focused on these toxins because it's very vague. Like, oh, what's this buildup of things, oh, you're drinking, this and that, we can't overcome it. That's why you'll see this, like, none of these things are claiming to fix you getting too much pesticides in you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here is that as much as they want to say that, okay, well, pollution is a toxin for you, it's not a toxin, it's a toxicant, and their stuff is for toxins, which we'll get into if toxins actually in what detox people say actually exists and if they can actually work for it. So there's different types of detox. So there's diet cleanses, colon cleanses. There's different detox teas. There's actually an oxygen detox.
What?
Yeah. There's a heavy metal, different kind of heavy metal detoxes.
Like the music, right? Like no more Black Sabbath for a week or whatever.
Yeah, there's what is it? Yeah, no, you left. There's a what is it called? A technology or a social media detox they do now too. Yeah. Which is probably the best form of this. Probably the one that works best for your mental health, right? Cutting out social media for a while. There's these devices that do detox, sweat therapy. There's skin masks and different skin rubs, and then there's hydrotherapy. So I'm going to break each one of these down individually. So diets, probably all of you have heard of these. Probably a lot of you have done these. So they're basically saying that because of toxins in your body, that's why you're fat and you can't lose weight. So what they're going to want to do is by using their different diet or their type of food or their pill or their program, you're going to eliminate the toxins. Whatever you're going to do is going to reset your body, like John said, and you're going to be able to lose the weight. And you're going to be sexy and skinny. And then ain't nobody going to tell you about how you going to look. A lot of the famous ones, like one of them, I guess I would put it in the diet one and not like the other kind. You've heard of that one, like the cayenne pepper and the lemon juice and the blah, blah, blah. And you drink it and then like, that's all you have.
Yeah, the apple cider vinegar is one.
I think it's got apple cider vinegar. And then people are like, oh my God, I lost all this weight. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. You didn't eat any food for a week.
Yeah.
Like, what do you... I love it. On The Office, Kelly does that one, and she's like, looks so weak. She's like, I've lost 5 pounds. I'm going to look amazing. And then she passes out. This is so good, though. Yeah, there's just so many of them. Like 5-day weight loss cleanse, a detox diet to get healthy and boost your metabolism. It's like, and the people who do the juice... Now, I'm not saying that like if you just drink juices, it's not good for you because they have, there's vitamins in juice, but like the fact that it's going to like clear out all these toxins in your system, that's bullcrap.
Yeah.
There's I'll put this picture up on the quackerypodcast.com. It's a picture of a colon with a bunch of like tarry, disgusting poop basically in it. And it says a sick colon creates a sick body. Doctors warn against letting it build up. It stops you from absorbing vitamins, minerals, and the nutrients in your food. That's a disaster. If your colon isn't clean, you'll never get well. It's like they're basically trying to say like our colons have like a bunch of shit in them all the time that we never get out. Like that's not true. So what's funny, they're just basically these colon cleanses are just laxatives. A lot of times they'll put like a lot of special kinds of fiber in there. And so they actually found, so a lot of people have these weird after pictures of their poop after they take these. And they're like, oh my God, I did this colon cleanse. And like this disgusting black, like this like poop that looks like my colon, like so basically like was stuck to the inside of my colon, and this cleanse got it out and now it feels so much better. What they're saying is it's these laxatives and fiber, like the way they swell in your colon, they basically put you up against the side, kind of like when you're making a sandcastle.
Yeah.
You push it down into the bucket.
Yeah.
It takes the shape of the bucket. So when you put it out, it's got a sandcastle. Well, when you poop this out, it's going to look like your colon because this stuff's swole in there.
Yeah.
So they're called casts, they say, from the fiber, and that's the cleansing product. So have you ever taken any of these did you sell any of these, John?
I never sold any of these, but we did a cleanse, and it was fiber, like a lot of fiber.
Like a colon cleanse?
Yeah, colon cleanse. Yeah.
Well, you did that for like losing weight for the wedding?
Yeah.
Did it
but
work?
I mean, yeah, it worked. But I mean,
you just pooped a lot?
What really worked was the food. I mean, it was like no sugar, no carbs. Like that's what worked. But, you know.
Colonic irrigation. So this is colon hydrotherapy. So this is basically
enemas, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's basically enemas, but it's way more. So they basically take up to 30 gallons of water and a few pints at a time, they'll spray it up your colon and try to wash out. And this is, you remember way back, episode 1, when you talked about coffee enemas, and I was like, what the hell is that? Well, I actually learned about it for this. It's one of the ways people do colonic irrigation. They'll put coffee up there instead of water to clean you out. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
And this is nuts, a great picture.
But it feels great.
It's got a big fat woman who's like throwing, like, she's ashing her cigarette on a Kama Sutra. She's fat. She's grouchy. It says, depression, headaches, acne, mood swings, indigestion, constipation, flatulence, water retention, painful periods, joint pain, and insomnia. And the insomnia, of course, is pointing to her liver? Because that's where insomnia comes from, right?
It's funny how the after picture, she's happy and she's carrying a book that says the joy of life, I think.
I think it's the joy of sex.
The joy of sex.
Yeah. So it will say, feeling of well-being improved by 92%. I don't know where they made up these. It says Meridian Institute of Colonic Irrigation Project with West Virginia. That's who came up with this from 2008. They say that your feeling of depression reduced by 86%. Your skin is improved by 60%. Your indigestion is improved by 90%.
Yeah, where are these numbers coming from?
That would be the arbitrary. Thing. This is on the box of the thing they sell. Just amazing. I guess they're saying, since you flush that out, your liver now lets you sleep 92% better. Oh, sure.
It works.
100% improvement in menstrual comfort. Wow. Are they? So wait, I think I got this straight. Instead of washing out their butt, they mist.
Yeah.
And so that's why she's smiling. It's kind of like the picture where they're spraying the woman with the hose from Hysteria. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to Female Hysteria. We talk about there's a great old ad where they have a fire hose and they're spraying it at a naked woman's crotch while she sits there. And it actually was something they did when they thought women were hysterical. And apparently colonic irrigation is hysteria. And it's playing on basically people's ignorance, I guess.
Yeah, and we still haven't found a cure for women's hysteria, by the way.
But I mean, I think colonic irrigation, 100% cure.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't, call the Meridian Institute of Colonic Irrigation Project in West Virginia, and you might get your cousin on the line.
Yeah.
But they'll know the answers. Oh, John's just trying to run off all our female listeners, all 2 of them. So there's detox teas. I'm sure you've heard of these.
We have those in the cabinet.
Healthy cleansing formulas with a little star at the end. That's always got to mean something good when there's an asterisk at the end of something that says it does something good. That's got to be only more good, right? These statements have not been evaluated by Jack Diddley anyone. So basically they're just different herbs and herbal remedies, dietary supplements, and concoctions. So they are supposed to detoxify through metabolic action. And they always have some vague or, assumed thing where it's like, it's going to promote the balanced activity of phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification pathways. All this stuff is made up. There's no such thing. There's no detoxification pathways at all. Anyway, teas. you're probably getting the most benefit just by drinking the water that's in the tea. I mean, if it tastes good, cool. So here's your boy, Dr. Oz. The man.
Is that Dr. Oz?
So he did an oxygen detox. He actually did this weird, it's like a combination
Hyperbaric oxygen
chamber, but he also did a detox with it. Now you did a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, I did it.
But that was not for the same reason that Dr. Oz went into there. Now, did you like it? Was it weird?
It actually, yeah. I mean, it's still, I mean, if you look at my brain scans before I went in and then after, it's completely different.
Yeah.
It basically what it does is push more oxygen into your brain, and with more oxygen. So basically PTSD is like a physical trauma. Mm-hmm. So you don't, in your brain, right, if it's physical, you don't get any blood flow there to certain spots. You don't get any oxygen. So it just opens up those pathways and starts putting more blood and oxygen in there.
And you can see the activity on the scans, right?
You can definitely, like before and after, I mean, you could see a definite difference.
Yeah.
And I slept a lot. I sleep a lot better.
That's awesome.
And, I think it really helped.
This is different.
We're actually going to buy one, though. We're thinking about buying one.
My dad really wants to buy one and like to use it to make money, like to get people to come and pay to use it and stuff like that.
Oh, shit. I didn't. Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, then you can rent people.
Be some sort of doctor, dude.
Yeah. So he wanted to run it in the back of like a dental office. So then you could have like.
Yeah.
He's got schemes, baby. Sounds like right up our alley. So those chambers are not quackery, but what Dr. Oz did is a lot different. So he went and just did this thing where he goes and just gets this concentrate. It's just basically like he got a scan while he was just getting a mask with more oxygen in it. And that's different from the chamber because the one you went into changes your
depth or
your pressure too. Yeah. So then it actually it changes the way you utilize the oxygen, right?
So it basically
more oxygen and sorry, go ahead.
No, so it basically when you go in, they call it diving. So it's basically like you're going, I don't know, 100 feet underwater. Mm-hmm. So it's that pressure, your ears pop and everything else. I guess it delivers the oxygen more effectively, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't researched into it. I mean, I know it's a far cry from oxygen detox. It's not oxygen detox.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's the point I wanted to make. So they say, concentrated oxygen is supposed to boost your immune system, relieve headaches, increase energy, and improve cognitive function. This is what Dr. Oz went and did, of course. So they basically use the successes from something like you went to basically say, you can go to these bars and get the oxygen, breathing treatments and things like that. And like people will go and they say, because of our environment, because of the pollution, because of just like stress, respiratory distress, chronic lung conditions, emphysema, smoking, people can't get enough oxygen from normal air. So these things called detox spas and oxygen bars, people go to them and they just basically are breathing in more oxygen. And there's absolutely no evidence that just breathing more oxygen does anything. So if you have healthy lungs, like if you're not like the old lady smoke, you remember on Joe Dirt, the old lady smoker, or an old man who's got his oxygen tank, like, they have like, COPD, emphysema, all these things. They can't get enough oxygen from the air. So they need that tank to breathe. But if you have normal lungs, this does nothing. They've never ever found any proof that this does anything at all. I love how on like if you watch the NFL, you got these big fat like linemen like in between the plays, they're like taking on like oxygen breathing so they can like get back in the play faster. My dad's always like, that's not like how it was back in my day. I think if they get an IV at halftime or if they get oxygen therapy at the sideline, they're out of the game.
People get IVs during halftime?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude, you gotta win, baby.
Yeah, that's true.
You got these guys who have like 5% body fat. They're not built to be able to hydrate for a long game like that. They like cramp up like crazy, just crazy. There's another one where so a lot of people say, okay, there's two different kinds of like heavy metals or toxins theories. The first one is these amalgams they use for your teeth. So an amalgam is just a blend of metals that they use in your tooth because they used to use gold.
Yeah.
But it's more expensive. But amalgams are better because they can mix different metals together and then they put it in there instead of gold and it's stronger and it's easier to work with and it's, there's no problems with it. So there's a group of holistic advocates that claim that amalgam fillings are a health hazard. And so they'll do these different things. You come into their office and they're like, okay, we might need to do a detoxification on you and remove all your fillings and replace them with these really expensive. Actually, I talked to my cousin. He's a dentist. He said, technically, there's a picture here I'll put on quackerypodcast.com, but it's basically like metal fillings, and then they replace them with the more expensive fillings that just look like teeth. So they look better, but they're not any better. They're actually typically weaker. You can break those. They have more problems, but they look better. So these dentists, these holistic dentists will say, okay, so what we need to do is we need to see if these things are giving you mercury poison. They'll give them these anti-amalgam test things to chew on. You chew. And then what it does is the amalgam, if you have any, it will generate these teeny tiny bit of these mercury that you'll then typically in your life, if you just chewed your teeth together like that for that amount of time and you're breathing, it would breathe out and you wouldn't get enough to cause any significant mercury poisoning. But then they give you this really sensitive mercury test and it will test positive if you have any of these fillings. So they're like, oh, here we go. We got a readout. You're getting mercury poisoning from these. We're going to need to take them out. You're going to need to pay us $50,000 to replace all, whatever it costs. Because dental shit is like that is expensive. Yeah. And no insurance is going to pay for you to get your fillings removed just to get the prettier kind for no reason. And I actually wanted to do with him, since he's a dentist, a whole dental quackery. Cool. I think it'd be fun. There's a bunch of stuff. There's I didn't even know there's a such thing as holistic dentistry. It's like, what does that even mean?
Is that like taking like an aloe leaf and rubbing it on your teeth?
Hope they put what I would hope it is. Yeah, it's like maybe they'll replace half their teeth with those focusing crystals.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be? If you're like,
cool.
Yeah, I'm always focusing my energy on my molar. Removing fillings that are not infected or there's no problems with it is not just a waste of money, but you can sometimes lose the tooth because you have to drill into good tooth.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you'll completely mess up the rest of your teeth. So this episode is sponsored by Personal Revolution Podcast. Have you been stuck inside wondering how to take charge of your life? Is there something you want to do, but you haven't been able to yet? Well, it's time to get quacking. In Personal Revolution, best-selling author and life coach Allison Task helps you take control of your life with inspiration and humor so that you move from where you are now to where you want to be and have fun doing it. It's like having a personal coach whispering in your ear. This 3-month podcast course, along with bonus episodes each month, will help you create a clear vision for what you want out of life, remove the frustrating blocks that are holding you back, develop a detailed action plan that will drive you to where you want to be, and build the network that will help you create your future. The Personal Revolution Podcast comes with a personal workbook and real-time access to a community of other changemakers working towards their goals with possibility and momentum. And for a limited time, all this is available to you for free. Download the Himalaya app on your app store, look up Personal Revolution, and enter the promo code REVOLUTION at checkout to get your first month absolutely free. If you're ready to go after a better life, you are ready for Personal Revolution. So there's also chelation therapy. They think that some people, have too much metal in their bodies and that, okay, so we need to get this metal out. Okay. So if you got too much metal in you, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this chelating agent in there. It's EDTA and other substances. So they're going to offer this. They're going to say, okay, well, you look like you may have, you're looking tired. Okay. You're looking like you could have lead or mercury poisoning. Did you know that there's lead and mercury in our environment and more now than ever? And so you need to be aware of this. So they give them the chelating agent before, and then, so they give them that EDTA, and then they take the test. Well, it artificially raises the levels of mercury and lead in their urine and other things. So then they get this result, and they're like, holy shit, you've got mercury and lead in your body. We're going to need to do this stupid-ass test where they do chelation therapy, intravenous treatment, dietary, whatever that person who was testing for it sold it. So these are called provoke testing, where they're like, oh, you look like you're looking like you're tired. You must have, the only thing I can think of is you have lead poisoning.
They do hit soldiers with that too, because all the rounds that we fire.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I bet they do.
Yeah. So like
They probably do a shitload of provoke testing on you guys.
Yeah, but the only thing is that we can't pay for it, and the VA ain't gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
So
of
it's
course
like
not.
they're fucked.
God, so they're probably
They try to hit me with that.
They're probably taking your damn military pensions and shit.
Yeah, they were like, because you fired so much weapons and all the bullets, all that stuff gets in your system. I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I'm not gonna pay. You can
Good for
do
you.
whatever you want if you pay for it. Like I'm not gonna pay.
Do they ever do any like the P test on you?
No, they didn't
Okay.
do anything.
Because that's what happens a lot of times. Because obviously they sell.
Because
the
I
stuff
told
to
them, I
fix
was
it.
like, dude, I'm
have any
obviously
money.
not gonna pay for this. If you can get the VA to pay for it, you can do whatever you
So
want.
what do they? How did they find you?
This was when I was doing the HBOT, which is a hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and I actually had to go to a doctor to get a
Did they, like,
prescription
hang out
for it,
there?
and that doctor did this heavy metals chelation or whatever, and he
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, since you're doing this and you're a veteran, maybe we should look into the heavy metal chelation. I was like,
Chelation, that's
if it's
crazy.
free, then it's for me.
That's
Or if you can get the
crazy.
VA to pay for it, like I tell the dentist and
That's
everything.
the people. That's
I'm like,
exactly.
if you get the VA to pay for it, like the dentist that I go to, I'm like, listen, I ain't paying anything, but if you can get the VA to pay for it, I'll come. And they did. So now I go to the dentist.
That's awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome, dude. I can't believe that that is. Damn, that's some genius ass quackery.
So with
there.
the soldiers, but the problem is, like, I mean,
That's messed up because a lot of people believe that.
the VA ain't going to pay for it, and I'm not going to pay for it, and
No.
no soldier's going to pay for it
That's
because
good.
we don't have the money for it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, I don't
I
know.
mean, maybe like I don't know. My neighborhood here, it's a bunch of veterans who like career military retired and now they have another job, so they're like rolling in money because they're getting the double paychecks basically. 'Cause
Yeah.
They retired military and have a job. Sweet neighborhood to live in. Very safe. No fireworks.
Oh, I think I'm getting over it though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could see why. I mean, if it's something that bothers dogs, I can understand why it could bother any. I mean, if you can't tell where this, it's got a surprise, ba boom, 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 ba boom. I mean, geez,
Yeah.
I used to hate fireworks when I was little. I would always hide inside every time. I hated them, and I don't even now. I just think it's a waste of money, really. But anyway, so then there's a lot of people who think there's this big thing where you sweat out all the toxins, right? You've heard that. Just sweat it out. I'm just gonna.
I was thinking about getting one of those home saunas.
I remember listening to
Is that
who was it,
quackery?
Joe Rogan, and he's like, man, people who do sauna therapy, they die like
What?
50% less, or from other causes, and I'm like, wait, that can't be right.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff on there, but
The Dutch do it a lot. Like when the Dutch people had a camp over when I was overseas, and they had made a sauna, and that was like their thing, dude. They would sit in a sauna all night.
I always think I'm gonna like it, and then I get in there and I'm like, it's hot.
I'm like, it's fucking hot. What
It's
the
hot
shit?
in here.
They're like-
I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, they're like smoking cigars in there. I'm like, what the fuck?
So that's got to like balance, but like completely negate any health
Yeah.
benefits for it. They say like, okay, if you have any toxin levels that are high, then you're going to use exercise, which could work because actually exercise, will help your body
Yeah.
to do its own thing, or sauna treatments, showers, massage, herbal wraps, or high doses of niacin, which just increases blood flow. None of this does anything because you actually you only use like any toxins in your own body or toxicants that come from foreign substances. You actually get all that done in your kidneys and your liver. So this is excreted and then pass in your urine or your feces. Okay, so very, very, very little of anything other than water, okay, goes out through your sweat. So it's pretty much just water. Some dissolved substances, but it's so little that like it's like nothing. Like it's like it'd be so hard to get toxicants or toxins out of your body through sweat.
Yeah.
So it's basically just like it's good for you to sweat because it's like when you sweat it, you're exercising, you're getting, your body is, you're raising your heart rate and you're increasing your metabolism. Those are all healthy things, but just the sweat itself, it's just a way for your body to cool itself. It doesn't mean anything. I put the dude off of Old Spice on here.
Yeah,
I love
Terry
that guy.
Crews. What's his name?
Yeah, Terry
Terry
Crews.
Crews.
You remember
He's big into
The Longest Yard? You remember that movie with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
He's Cheeseburger Eddie and he's doing his
Yeah,
titty
yeah,
pops.
yeah.
It's like Said, it ain't easy being Jeezy.
He's ripped, dude.
He's huge. He's old, dude. I think he's 50, and he's freaking jacked. That's what I want to look like when I'm 50. I've never looked like that in my life, but 50, here I come. I'm going to look like you, Terry.
We probably have to lift some weights every once in a while.
Listen, all right, I'm there once a month. I think if over long enough time, that's the thing. That's why by 50, I'll be ripped. Because you add them all up, right? I think that's how lifting weights work. So have you ever seen these things? Detox foot baths. So it's these little things where you put your feet in there, and it's a little thing, and it's supposed to detox your body through your feet. And it's kind of like, you remember we looked at with essential oils, there's all these different things on your feet where it treats different things. This is kind of like that. It's like, oh, well, it sucks it out. And what the water looks like, it means what it was cleaning out. Well, they actually did an expose on these, and it's bullshit. Surprise, surprise. I'll put this picture up on quackerypodcast.com. This bath, basically this foot bath turns brown every time.
How?
Exactly the same way, because the little thing feeding it, okay, it basically, when it gets wet, it starts to rust, and then it bubbles, and it just rusts. So that's just rust.
Ugh.
So the electrodes are changing color, whether or not you put your feet in there or not. You turn it on with water, it's always going to turn brown. That's what they found out. They were like, wait a minute. It's oxidized iron, so that's rust, which is awesome. It's so funny. It's like, man, that's genius. I wish I would have thought of that. You know how much those people made? They probably made a shitload of money. And that could have been our money.
Yeah.
But we're going to make it the right way by telling people, don't buy these.
Yeah.
So there's these foot pads that are basically the same thing. You seen these?
Yeah.
Ooh, have you used these?
I haven't used them, no.
So they're the same thing. They basically oxidize. So there's these little pads. You put them on your feet, and then they'll turn brown, and then people think that the toxins came out, and then it just basically, because of the moisture on your feet, that's why it turned brown. The same thing.
That's crazy.
It's awesome, though. There's a great picture here. This lady with really puffy, fat legs, and then a lady with skinnier legs right next to him. I'm like,
Before and after.
can't be the same women. The underwear are completely different. Yeah. Why that one lady's feet this different color from her legs?
Yeah, that's not the same woman.
Maybe she just goes around barefoot a lot. So there's also skin detox. So there's all these different products like masks and things like that. So these things are rampant, like in the market. They're like, oh, you put these on here, it's going to help draw the toxins out of your skin. So they talked to this. My favorite was I looked at this website that was actually sold these things, and they were like, oh, do these really work? And it would be like, well, Dr. Frey, a dermatologist, says there's no such thing called skin toxins, and they're wrong. And then they go, but she did say that pollution is bad for your skin. So they try to like completely just say the opposite of what this doctor said. I'm sure the doctor read it, and she's like, what the hell is this? You just completely twisted my words. Like, it's like when Trump's advisors tell him one thing, and he's just like, things seem to be fine. Getting better all the time. They're like, his people are looking around like, we didn't say that. So they always, like, skincare products always boast the ability to detox, and they're never transparent about what the toxins are, what they're removing, what they're helping with. So they can clean your skin, yes, but they can't pull toxins out because there's no toxins. Okay, so let's get to this. Are toxins real? And does any of this crap actually work? Okay, so the toxins that they claim, there's no evidence that any of these toxins has ever been found. So no toxins had ever been found. So detoxification is a practice it's a quack notion based on the body of knowledge related to health. There's no scientific evidence for it. It's not accepted by anyone in the scientific community. So some of these practices are not dangerous. Some of them are, but mostly the harm can be economic, physical, or emotional. So mainly people are just wasting their money.
Yeah.
So the main thing is the substances that are removed are hardly ever identified. So the easiest thing would be to say, okay, here's a toxin. You can test for it in your blood. After you use our product, the levels in your blood go down. How easy would that be to do? No one who sells any detox thing has ever done that, and there's no one who will, because they're making money doing nothing. So, but don't worry, John, don't panic. You don't need a reset button. You don't need to take your game out of your Nintendo, and blow on it, put it back in.
Yeah.
Your body has you covered. Your liver is the Mac Daddy. Okay.
Well, not ours anymore after drinking all this beer.
This is a detoxicant. Alcohol is, but it's taking care of it. Your livers are taking care of it. So no one says what the toxins are, and there's no evidence that it removes anything. But our bodies can take care of ourselves, especially the liver, feces, urine, and sweat for the tiniest bit. Sweat, but mostly liver and poop and pees. That's how it comes out. So your liver mostly does most of the filtering. It basically turns toxic things harmless, and then we get rid of them. So probably don't drink your own pee, because it could have, even though it'll have safe, it'll turn damaging into safe. So what would some of the dangers be? I put this little joke up here from your e-cards. The only thing this juice diet has cleansed me up is my will to live. So like a 1-day fast could be harmless. But a long fast, as we saw from your episode of Talk Murder to Me, could kill people, right? If you don't let people eat for a long enough time.
Yeah.
What was it on that episode?
She didn't eat for like 48 days or
50 days.
something.
How the hell was it? Like, today I had filtered broth filter.
Yeah, it was double filtered, double strained
tomato juice. Jeez. That's some shit. This beer does kind of taste like a juice cleanse.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it's not bad. It's very drinkable, but it doesn't taste like beer.
I could only drink one, though.
Yeah. No,
this isn't something I could drink more than once.
You couldn't pound it. No.
Yeah, no way.
Cleansing with products composed of herbs and fiber is unlikely to be harmful, but they can be expensive. Colonic irrigation is worthless therapeutically, and it can actually mess up your electrolytes. So they've had some people who've had also intestinal perforation, which would mean if you put the tube up there, you might poke a hole in your intestines. And that's going to be problematic. Yeah. So this is basically just playing off of people's fears. Chelation and dental amalgam filling replacement can be very expensive. You can lose your teeth for that. Chelation therapy can actually cause organ damage, they've seen. And so they think it could be like if there's other, if it's they're doing that instead of other procedures they may need, then that can cause a big problem and put their life at risk. But the main part is, like we said, it costs money and it's not really doing anything. I mean, for them to prey on veterans, or like, you shot a lot of rounds, son, we need to do this chelation therapy. It's like, go pound dirt, you asshole.
Yeah.
Like, go prey on someone who didn't put their life on the line for this country. How dare you?
Yeah.
John's like,
I didn't really care. I was like, dude, if you pay for it,
yeah,
fine.
I like that thought, which is exactly right. Like, hey, you gonna do something for me if you can get it paid? So I thought this was a perfect finish here. There's a book called Slow Death by Rubber Duck by Rick Smith and Bruce Laurie. It's how the toxicity of everyday life affects our health. It's like, even the harmless rubber duck is poison.
Jeez.
What other questions did you have about detox? Lay them on me, man.
I just feel like an idiot now that I did a detox.
Well,
that's it.
Don't feel like an idiot. I mean, we all have done it. I mean, shit, I'm sure I can't.
I did lose like 10 pounds, but it was the diets.
Detox diets, yeah. So detox diets will work, like, because you're eating less, you're eating healthier. Yeah.
We ate like bags of carrots.
Yeah.
Instead of.
I guess one thing I didn't touch on this episode, which would be interesting to talk about, is antioxidants. So what do you think about antioxidants? And what you've probably heard it a lot, right?
I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know.
Yeah. So like free radicals are what can cause cancer.
Yeah, I mean, everything causes cancer, apparently.
So if you can oxidize those, or whatever, you can neutralize those. But you know what? It was interesting that I read, and this isn't necessarily detox, but like that's kind of the same thing. Is that antioxidants? There's been no evidence that getting more antioxidants does anything for cancer. There's no proof. Isn't that crazy? They basically toed it like it's a fact.
I mean, I never thought much about it anyway. Antioxidant sounds like antioxygen to me, and like, why would you want less?
Like they always say, negative? Like, blueberries and all these really healthy foods have more antioxidants, and it's healthy for you.
I mean, people will eat these antioxidants, but then they'll eat a bag of potato chips and drink like a 2-liter of diet,
smoke a pack of
Dr.
Marlboro
Pepper.
Reds.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, but if I eat some blueberries, it'll balance out them cowboy killers. Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's like, I mean, and not that I don't think that like there's a lot of, this is a tough episode too for a lot of people, because then you look at it and you go, well, you know, is all the plastic we're using not bad for us? Is all the, you know, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree that there are environmental factors that are bad for us, but again, it's kind of like snake oil. People are preying on our fears that a bad environment and us having bad, you know, using bad things. Okay, they can go, oh, we can fix that with this treatment, this bull crap that doesn't do anything. It's not proven to do anything. It's not even, you know, toxins aren't even, well, like what you're saying a toxin is, that wouldn't even include those, which I thought was interesting. I didn't, like you said, I wasn't clear on the difference between toxins and toxicants.
I don't think anybody is.
I mean, like pesticides are a big problem. And, you know, if we getting that stuff in our system, I mean, that's what the majority of cases of Parkinson's are from. So the majority of Parkinson's is from environmental factors. It's very low tied to genetic. It's mostly from environmental, and a lot of that is from pesticides.
Is that the
Michael J. Fox? Yeah. All right. Well, anything else about detox? Yeah. So mainly, for the most part, it's not dangerous. Just a waste of money. Another thing that's kind of just one last thing before we finish up here. Those navage and nasal irrigation kind of things, they're kind of they're sort of in the same category, like the neti pot and things like that.
Yeah.
You're rinsing out your nose to kind of detox your sinuses. It doesn't really do anything. And actually you can run the risk of giving yourself like a sinus infection if the water's not clean, if you don't clean your equipment enough. So typically not really dangerous. They don't do a lot, but if they're dirty, then they can cause problems. So kind of same along the lines here. With that note, for John Boy and Pilly, this has been Quackery on Detox. So if y'all really enjoyed this episode, if it really quacked you up, head on over to quackerypodcast.com/join, become an official quackhead. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Tell your friends. And as always, keep calm and quack on. And don't put 30 gallons of water up your asshole. You ain't gonna need no man to tell you how you looking now that you detoxed.